Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Thursday afternoon. Welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy. I am standing alongside runway 27. Currently the only runway in use for arrivals. Hey there, Simranjit. Good afternoon. Hope you're doing well, mate. You're early to the stream. An unexpected stream. I was a little bit sooner than expected done with the obligations I had earlier today, and since it's been a windy day throughout the day, I figured might as well go out for a few more hours, do an extra stream. Incoming now is Royal Air Maroc flight 850 inbound from Casablanca. Now the wind is blowing from 240 degrees, so that is basically the runway heading of the Kaagbaan. This landing airplane lands towards the west, so that is 270, which means there is a small bit of crosswind, 30 degrees from the left. Hey there Ina, hey there Mark, hey there Henky. Hope you guys are doing well. So, if the website that predicts the runway usage for today is correct, runway 27 should remain open for arrivals until 8 p.m. local time. So that is 3 more hours and a bit. And I was very curious because today it is more windy than it has been over the last week, how my mic would hold out under these conditions. Would there be any crackling or maybe not? So that is also in part why I'm out here to test if the pouch construction also holds out under these conditions. It's not a full-blown storm. The wind is blowing with 20 knots or so. Earlier today I saw that it was also gusting up to 30 knots. It is mostly headwind that these pilots are facing, so I don't expect any go-arounds under these conditions, but you never know for sure, of course. Now departures take place from 2 runways at the moment, 24 and also 18 left, which is right next to me. At the moment, as you guys can see, the sun is out. There are some clouds, more towards the west, towards the sea. There's more blue sky. You can see in the water, it's not completely wind still. Now let me quickly turn around because inbound at the moment is a Queen, and it is inbound from LAX Singapore Airlines flight 7987, left LAX 10 hours ago, 747-400, 17 years old. First flight was in October 2005. Let's see if she will land in one go. Now, in the meantime, I see that a lot of other people have also joined the chat. Rick Meester, goedemiddag vriend. Peter van Kesteren, Sam Koopman. Welcome everybody. And Hannes is standing next to me. Good day to you. So, let me quickly go back to the camera because otherwise I am losing focus of the Singapore Airlines 747. I thought I read that Henky reported that there wasn't any crackling. I didn't hear any crackling as well when I was setting up and listening to the sound. But the last stream I did last Monday, I think it was, I did start to hear some crackling towards the end as the wind was picking up back then. Now, one queen has just arrived. It looks like another queen is about to go. Taxiing towards runway 18 left. Now looking at flight radar, there is an EasyJet A320neo inbound on the other side, but let's just stick with the 747. Saudia Cargo by the looks of it, yep. Taxiing to the threshold of runway 18 left. There's a mound of grass or whatever it is in the foreground, obscuring the view a little. But behind the mound is where the threshold of the runway is. So we might see the front of the airplane as it's on the threshold, ready to get the green light for departure. Meanwhile, that gives me some time to look at the chat. Frans Honders, goedemiddag. Voor nu is het geluid luid en duidelijk zonder storingen. I'm happy to hear that. Raymond Hurst, checking in from California. Good morning, my friend. Hope you're doing well. And Rod Martinez also checking in from Southern California, where it is rainy at the moment. How about that? So, quickly back to the camera, because there is the second queen ready to take off. Now, first the Neo from EasyJet has to cross the runway. These two runways intersect. And she's pulling up. Wings flex. You can see the wingtip of the left wing going up and down, bouncing. Always a glorious sight to see those 747s, particularly against such a nice backdrop. So there are some clouds. We did have some rain showers earlier during the day. They've now left the country, and the upcoming week I think no more precipitation is expected. And over the weekend and during the next week we will start to see higher temperatures. At the moment it is still 11 degrees centigrade, so that is 52 degrees Fahrenheit approximately. We are expecting to get temperatures towards 20 degrees C, so that would be 2 times 20 plus 30 equals approximately 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Now obviously, as you can see, visibility is really excellent. Though I do notice that the wind is making following the airplane a little bit bumpy and less smooth than I would have liked. Still clearly visible against the backdrop of blue sky, and I would say typical Dutch cloudy sky. All right. Let's have a look. Don't see any other planes that are ready to depart just yet. So let's focus back to where the arriving traffic is coming from. So a lot of people are checking in from California, DVH B27, checking in from Rancho Cucamonga. Hello to you, my friend, hope you're doing well. Jerry Donnelly also checking in, Joey checking in from Joe Adam channel. Kenyon, good evening. Nice to see so many of you tuning in again. Let's have a look. Inbound now is an A332 from Turkish. Inbound from Istanbul. Left Istanbul 2 hours and 55 minutes ago, and it is an airplane that is 12 years old. First flight was in March 2011. And Jerry says, glad you made it to the Apple Store. I did. Actually, in fact, when I came home after streaming last Monday, I thought that the second USB port was also starting to give out because I wasn't able to charge my laptop at all anymore. So I figured, oh damn, the second port has also gone. So I immediately checked to see if the Apple Store had availability for me later that day. And fortunately, around 4:30 they had a spot, so I booked it, went over there, and then almost within 5 minutes it became apparent that my charging cable, while already damaged after a fall, had finally given out completely. Now I'm happy to hear that I was happy that they also checked the rest of the equipment, so the charging brick and also the internals of the laptop, and I asked if there were also any signs of damage inside, water damage for instance. I said I don't know, if maybe some droplets might have spilled onto it accidentally, but it looked squeaky clean, the guy in the Apple Store said. So that means that also during my rain streams and testing during the rain, everything, the internals have stayed dry. So that was also a confidence boost for me. Knowing that under rainy conditions I am able to keep all the equipment properly dry and functional. If there are no wire defects, of course. So yeah, I'm a happy camper and ready to go. No hesitations or second thoughts about the equipment, at least, or insecurities. Now, let's have a look. Meanwhile, Fire Captain 202, greetings and salutations to everyone from Smoky Mountains of Tennessee, USA. Good day to you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. So, let's have a look. Inbound now is an EasyJet A319 inbound from Palma de Mallorca, the Canary Islands. Left there, no, not the Canary Islands, the Balearic Islands, sorry. Left there 2 hours 21 minutes ago. 16-year-old airplane. First flight March 2007. Bit of reversals applied. Now, if I show you guys the windsock in the distance, just behind the fence. You can see the wind direction and also get an idea of the current wind speed. Despite all that, some brave birds are still trying to swim upstream. They seem to manage it, even if they have their heads tucked into their feathers. Interesting to see. Maybe they are asleep and are sleep swimming instead of sleepwalking. I can also see, let me see if I can show you guys. Just behind the, whatever this construction is, police helicopter, and looked like it was going to land. For those of you unfamiliar with Schiphol, what I am pointing the camera to, oh, there is another police helicopter just taking off by the looks of it. The police is one of the, well, at least the aerial police is stationed over there on Schiphol East, which is also where the general aviation platform is. So, oh, wind is blowing me off course. So general aviation also over there. Also all the maintenance hangars, and let me see if I can show you guys. Yeah, here are some private jets parked while they are still allowed to land and take off from Schiphol, because our government is proposing that that will become forbidden. Although I don't know yet when exactly they are going to effectuate that proposal, but it is something they are planning to do. Now, it seems like there is no inbound traffic at the moment anymore. Let me quickly double check to see if the runway is still open. It is still open. It is still the only runway for arrivals, so that means that all traffic inbound for Amsterdam will be coming this way. And it seems that the first airplane to arrive just crossed the coast north of Amsterdam. An Embraer 190 inbound from London City, BA flight 8455. Looking at where its current position is, it is still 10 minutes out or so, I think. Let me also have a look further out, see what's coming next. There are a few airplanes crossing into the country, into Dutch airspace from the northeast, from the east, also from the southwest. There's also traffic inbound over the North Sea and just south of Belgium. So there's plenty more incoming, it's just not yet here. And now I'm starting to wonder if maybe the Embraer is even not going to land over here, because it seems that it might go to the Polder route, which, according to the website I was looking at, should be closed. So that's interesting to see. Now I see that the chat is going like crazy. I'm really behind, so let me have a look. Nabila Day also checking in. Hi there, hi to you, and also hi to Jeffrey from Nairobi. Kenyon is enjoying the stream from Mombasa. Jerry, WTF, you shouldn't have. Thank you so much for your kind super chat, my friend. Buy a new power cord. Well, my friend, let me tell you, I bought my laptop last October, so it was still under warranty, and they gave me a new cable for free. How about that? I asked the guy, how much do I owe you? And he said, well, this is just under this falls under the still falls under the warranty. All right, so the Doodleman also checking in. Roadhog also again present. Good day to you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Wendy, goedemiddag. Good to see you again. Hope you're well. Thijs ten Bos also tuning in. Good afternoon. Goedemiddag. And Wu-Tech Goddess. I probably mispronounced that. The Golden Arches. Yes. Well, let me turn around the camera towards the main platform area and show you guys something more interesting than that, because it is going to take a little before we'll see inbound traffic again. Normally around dinner time, local time, you also have a bit of an evening rush hour, but either it has already happened or it is still about to happen. Now you can see that there is a tail of a KLM airplane that is taxiing towards the threshold of 18 left. Couldn't make out what type it is, if it's a triple or if it's an A330. Judging by the sound, I would be inclined to say it's a A330. So let's have a look at this departure then instead, as we're waiting for more traffic. And Mats Bjorn says, thought you first would be live Saturday. Nice surprise. Well, I was planning on Friday actually as my first next day to go live, but I was done with the things I had to do today earlier than expected. Oh, it's a Dreamliner. So I figured, as it's windy and I'm still not entirely sure how my pouch around the microphone contraption works under more windy conditions, I also saw an opportunity to go live and meanwhile test how the microphone holds up under these windy conditions on this particular location. And so far the feedback I've received from you guys in the chat is very positive, no crackling, so I hope that continues to stay that way. I was hearing some crackling towards the end of last Monday's stream when the wind was also starting to pick up a bit. So that was why I was still a bit hesitant. So that is one silver lining of the current runway usage. If there's a little bit of a lull with respect to arrivals, there are always some departures taking place as well. And as long as they take place from this runway, we are ideally situated to see all of this. Now in the meantime, I can hear that there's another airplane just entering the runway threshold to the right of me. So let's turn around the camera and have a look. And Maxime asks 18 left question mark, and I can confirm it is 18 left what we are looking at now. The sea drone says no crackling but still wind noise, not good. But let me tell you, when the wind is blowing as hard as it is right now, there is no way to avoid hearing wind noise unless you use a blimp. Even using a dead cat is insufficient to fully mitigate the noise of the wind under these conditions. It is rather windy. But hearing wind noise and crackling on top of that is even more annoying and is even worse than just hearing the wind. Meanwhile, 737 is taking off from 18 left. All right. Now, if I look towards the Golden Arches, I still don't see any traffic, so let me at least point the direction towards a location where something is visible in the distance, and let me also have a look on flight radar and see what is happening, because it seems that the inbound traffic that is arriving is now going to the Polderbaan for some reason. Has the Polderbaan reopened again, is my question then. So the website that is predicting runway usage is unreliable. Because it now says that runway 27 has closed for arrivals and Polderbaan has opened and is now the only runway open for arrivals. 18 left is still open for departures together with runway 24, the Kaagbaan. Now, each time this has happened and I was inclined to wrap things up, as I was walking back to my car, or if I was just in the car driving away, what happened was that 27 reopened again. And as long as there is some traffic moving to the threshold of 18 left for departing, I'm going to stick around for a bit longer, see if maybe 27 will also reopen again. So the website predicting the runway usage said that 27 would be open for arrivals until 8 p.m. local time. So I'm hoping they might reopen it just for a bit later. Now this Etihad Cargo 777 is definitely taxiing towards the runway threshold of 18 left for a southbound departure. But not before a KLM Embraer takes off. Now let's have a look. There's also a CRJ from SAS by the looks of it, taxiing in the same direction. And if I look further to the left, we might also have a 737 that is going to skip the line and take off from over there. Little 700 by the looks of it. So I'm hearing a helicopter pass over me. That is the lifeliner. One of the 4 lifeliners I believe we have in the Netherlands, the emergency helicopters. There's one stationed on the rooftop of the VU Medical Center in the south of Amsterdam. So seeing the yellow lifeliner helicopters over here is not an uncommon sight. In the meantime, the triple from Etihad Cargo has lined up at the threshold. Seems to be going as we speak. Now in a minute I'm going to turn on image stabilization to see if maybe that makes the tracking a bit more smooth, because as you guys probably can tell, it is a bit difficult today to follow the airplanes relatively smoothly. The wind is blowing from the side and is constantly pulling on the camera and on my arm as I am moving the camera via the pan handle. In the meantime, the SAS CRJ also taking off. Where is it? Maybe a bit further. Now the wind is coming from 240. These airplanes are taking off in direction 180, so that is basically almost exactly 90 degrees crosswind, which is why you could see this plane also maneuvering to the left, because the wind is coming from the right for these airplanes. Makes it a bit more challenging. Follow the runway, continue following the runway heading. Now let me refresh the app. It still says that 18 right is the only runway for arrivals. Chose the wrong runway once again, it seems. Now the upside is that at least there is some action also taking place from 18 left. I'm also trying to catch up on the chat. Where was I? Doodleman enjoying the stream from Zutphen. MA says thank you so much for the stream from London. You're welcome. I'm sorry that the title on the box isn't what's in the stream anymore, because once again, standing here, the runway was closed after not too long a time. It was open for arrivals the entire day, so once again it is the Schiphol gods that are randomly doing something. So where was I? And DVHB27 asks if I can give a shout out to his family in Goor Overijssel. Well, bij deze een shout out naar de familie van DVHB 27. Hey, and I'm also catching up on Thijs's super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. And Henky says that wind noise is minimal. And then another super chat from Thijs. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Alex van der Pas also saying hi. Now, let's see. Richard Redmer says, great camera, awesome microphone. Thank you. I'm happy to hear that. Thank you so much. Okay, Gosse also present again. Goedemiddag, vriend. Right, so back to the camera it is. Let me put my gloves on. And hey, Miran also checking in. Goedemiddag. Yorkshire Biker, good day, my friend. Good afternoon. Hope you're doing well, mate. So again, for those of you tuning in later, welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy. I am standing alongside runway 27. That was the only runway in use for arrivals and was the case for the entire day, except now it's not anymore. Now luckily for us, runway 18 left is one of the 2 runways that is used for departures, so for the time being that is something I can show you guys. Although the position from over here is not entirely optimal, it is relatively okay. Runway 24 also in use for departures. Currently the polar bound is open for arrivals as the only runway. Now there's a website that predicts the usage of the runways, and it said that 27 was the runway in use for arrivals until 8 p.m. local time. Now that didn't turn out to be true, unfortunately for us. But as long as there's departing action on 18 left, I am going to stick around to show you guys. Now, for those of you who didn't hear it yet, it is a bit windy. Wind is blowing in the from the direction 240, so that is exactly where the runway Kaagbaan is pointing towards. Southwest, west-southwest I should say. These airplanes that you see take off right now are taking off from 18 left, so that is exactly to the south, which means that there is almost 90 degrees crosswind. There's only a little bit of headwind and a lot of crosswind. Now the same goes for the traffic that is currently landing on 18 right, the polar baan. And interestingly enough, they closed this runway, at least for now, runway 27, which was facing only 30 degrees of crosswind. Well, it's technically a bit more complex than that, I think, because you cannot say outright that the wind is blowing from so many degrees to the side, so that is the exact crosswind component. I still forgot to turn on the image stabilizer. Now that I'm out here, might as well also see if it does any good to stabilize the footage somewhat. Temperature wise, despite the wind, it is approximately 10 or 11 degrees centigrade at the moment. Probably is going to cool down as the evening progresses. So that is approximately 50 or 52 degrees Fahrenheit. We've had some rain showers in the morning, mostly in the northern half of the country. Now, no more precipitation in the forecast for the upcoming week, if not more. Slowly but surely it is expected to get even more sunnier, less windy, a bit warmer each day. I thought I saw yesterday that for Wednesday or Thursday next week they even said that the temperature is going to go towards 20 degrees centigrade. So approximately 70 degrees F. So it seems that spring is finally getting underway over here in the Netherlands, at least in the upcoming week. For now, I am still standing here with my raincoat on, with my winter parka on, and with gloves on. And you guys can probably hear my nose is still runny. Temperatures are still too cold for my nose not to run. Let's see what is coming next. I think EasyJet, Embraer of sorts, KLM by the looks of it. Bit hard to see with the backlight on the little 3-inch camera screen. That seems like another Embraer from KLM. So I don't see any heavies in the immediate vicinity just yet. I'm also having a look on flight radar to see if all traffic is still going towards the Polderbaan. Does seem to be the case. Too bad. There are a couple of heavies at the moment arriving. The 777-200 from KLM, inbound from Beijing, A330 from China Southern. They are all going to the Polderbaan. For tomorrow, they aren't expecting a lot of wind. What wind there is blowing will be from the south. So I have to see what tomorrow is going to bring. But a Polderbaan stream somewhere during the day will be the most likely candidate. Meanwhile, Janus Mutavis is also checking in from Athens. Good evening to you, my friend. And Kommende Deutsche almost overlooked you. Liebe Grüße aus Düsseldorf. Herzlich willkommen und liebe Grüße zurück. Now let me quickly go into the menu of my camera and turn on image stabilizer. See if it makes a difference. Image stabilizer has now been activated. does smooth out the vibrations a bit, although not fully. Well, it's still not ideal. It's hard to combat the effect that the wind has on your arm and on the camera and on the tripod. And even image stabilization will not mitigate it fully. In the meantime, I don't see any immediate new upcoming departing traffic. So let me have a look on flight radar. And all inbound traffic is still being sent to the Polderbaan. Hopefully we are going to see some outbound traffic or some inbound traffic soon. Lambert B asks what camera I use. I use a Canon XA40 4K camcorder, although the equipment I am using is limited to streaming in 1080p 60 frames a second, so that's what I'm currently doing. But the camera is a Canon XA40. Peter PDK also tuning in. Goedemiddag. Now, unfortunately, the track record for me streaming from this runway is not so favorable. I think I have had to call it quits more often than not so far. It's always a tricky runway to go to. Now, if only the website that predicts the runway usage would be a bit more reliable, but there you go. So I'm just having a look to see what's happening. For those of you who are wondering why there is a Fokker airplane up on the balcony over there, that is the panorama terrace of Schiphol, the main terminal building. So if you ever come visit Schiphol, particularly if you have any young children, do go to the panorama rooftop terrace, because there's a Fokker airplane that has been decommissioned that used to fly for KLM Cityhopper. I think it's also accessible for the children, so definitely if you're in the area, go have a look. Also, if you don't have any children, it is a great chance to see an airplane that has been decommissioned up close without having to go to the Aviodome airplane museum that used to be on Schiphol but is now relocated, I think, to Lelystad Airport. Used to be on the other side of the terminal building, where on the side where the departing and arriving passengers can get picked up or dropped off. Although it has been a while since it was relocated, and I think it was to Lelystad Airport. Now, clearly recognizable Embraer 175. You can recognize them far away by the size and angle of the winglets. Less upright than with the Embraer 190, and also proportionally bigger. 777 there in the distance. Qatar by the looks of it. So the camera is now pointing towards the Kaagbaan, which is also where the Embraer is going to take off from by the looks of it. In the distance behind it is part of the cargo area of the platform. It's on both sides of runway 0624, the Kaagbaan. So all the cargo 747s and triples they're over there. Behind the 777 from Qatar, you can just about make out the tail of a Suparna 747, if I saw that correctly. So it seems that all the outbound airplanes at this moment are also going to runway 24. Now this 777 from KLM is not being towed, so it's not going to be towed to Schiphol Oost, the area where the maintenance hangars are. It looks to be going to runway 24 for a departure. It seems that the Embraer is already lined up and is taking off right now. So this is what you can see from airplanes taking off from runway 24 over here. Over here, this is towards Schiphol Oost. Now I already showed you guys the general aviation part, which is over here, where all the private jets are parked in the distance, and also where the police are located. So police helicopters land and take off from over there. And you can see Martin Air, Transavia, KLM, engineering and maintenance. It says it on the outside of the building. Hangar 14, Leonardo da Vinci. Now this is a very beautiful, lively colored tail. Don't recognize it immediately. see what else is there. KLM Embraer. Engine services. More KLM stuff. A330. Some more stuff in the distance behind it, also KLM. It looks like an E2 Embraer 195. B737 Embraer. Can I zoom in any further? I don't think. No, I am already maximally fully zoomed in. Anthony Fokker over there. So that's the area where the airplanes are. When you see airplanes being towed, they are going to that area or are towed away back to the gate from that area. Some fuel tanks in the distance. It seems that the 777 from Qatar is now lined up for departure on runway 24. Just behind the BA Airbus. Now let me, in the meantime, have a look. See if anything has changed in the runway usage, particularly if 27 is reopening again. Still doesn't seem to be the case. Let me also double check the website that gives the information about expected runway usage. Yeah, well, according to that website, runway 27 should still be open. They didn't update the information, unfortunately, so their information is no longer accurate. Hey Samil, good evening, welcome to the stream. Now unfortunately, once again standing over here at 27, relatively quickly Schiphol decided to close the runway. Now initially there were also some departures taking place from runway 18 left, so we were able to see them relatively up close. At the moment all departures seem to be taking place from runway 24. And that means that from over here there isn't a whole lot to see. Let's see what else is happening. So yeah, in the background cargo planes, you can see that there are two Suparna 747s parked over there at the moment. Also the KLM Cargo 747 in the distance. Almost a fully empty gate. One Transavia, KLM. More Transavia. Here of course the control tower that looks so far away when you're standing alongside the Polderbaan. Here a bit better in view. Turkish with the tulip on the body of the airplane. Beautiful Etihad Dreamliner. So if you're parked or your gate is on this side where these two planes are and you are landing on the Polderbaan, you still have to taxi all the way around 18 Center, 36 Center and cannot shortcut it. So if your gate is over here, then the taxi time while the runway is still closed, 18 Center, 36 Center has increased significantly. Well, significantly it has increased a little because you cannot cut short. Normally speaking, the airplanes coming from the Polderbaan would arrive from over there somewhere. Now, and if you look at the windsock, you can see that it's really strange that they closed runway 27 and instead chose to land on Polderbaan, because Polderbaan is exactly 90 degrees angled to the wind at the moment, and as you can see, using runway 27 would mean that they almost completely are landing into headwind. So Schiphol logic defies all logic. And also this airplane doesn't seem to be coming this way. So yeah, a photo for you. I was also checking the website of Verkeersleiding Nederland, and I also was looking at Bezoekbas, the website that also shows the predicted runway usage for the upcoming hours. And theory and practice are two different things when it comes to runway usage over here at Schiphol. I'm also looking at flight radar. So far, all inbound traffic is still directed towards the Polderbaan. I am going to wait for a few more minutes, but if there are no signs that some traffic is going to take place or is coming towards us, either via runway 27 or via runway 18 right, left, sorry, I always keep confusing the left and right over here, then I think I am going to wrap it up. Tomorrow is a new day. All outbound traffic still seems to be taxiing towards 24. I think the 737 is probably going to take off next. But the silver lining at least is that if you guys are still not hearing any crackling, that at least with the current wind conditions on this location, that will also no longer be an issue. So I'm really happy about that. We'll also need to do some further testing along the Polderbaan, because I did hear an occasional crackle towards the end of last Monday's stream. So it might not yet be fully waterproof. Now I do have a second pouch from another pair of ski goggles lying around, so I might try that also, see if my dead cat still fits when there are two pouches over the tube of the runway, the tube of the microphone. Today my excuse is that I have been in a Zoom call for most of the day for the training runway. No, so if some crackling was still there under more windy conditions, that is something I might still try. And even if we did hear an occasional crackle, as long as it's not as pervasive anymore and as distracting as it was initially, I'm already a happy camper, because it was quite annoying. So this is one of the airplanes that has probably just gotten maintenance and is now being towed back to the gate so that it can be used again for passenger transportation. The livery is also very shiny, so maybe it has also been put through the car wash. And again, the windsock in the foreground says it all. You would think, normally speaking, that this runway 27 would still be open, but unfortunately that hasn't been the case. Now there is a slew of planes coming in from the east. Let's see what they are going to do, if they are all going to Polderbaan. I think I'm going to wrap it up. Yeah, and now I'm looking at the app again that indicates the runway usage, and it now says that Kaagbaan is indeed the only runway open for departures, and Polderbaan, One Night Ride, and Buitenvelderbaan 27 are open for arrivals. So I spoke too soon. I am going to stick around because it probably means that the traffic that you see on flight radar now entering the country from the east and northeast might well come this way. A photo for you says that tomorrow the wind is coming from the south-southwest, so more or less similar to what it is today, although I do believe that the intensity is going to subside over the upcoming hours and overnight. And if it's not explicitly windy, then typically they will not use 27 for arrivals, but the Polderbaan, One Night Ride. I'll have a look tomorrow. I think I will need to do some phone calls first in the morning, so I am thinking about going out for a stream tomorrow afternoon. Rick has to go already. Well, it was a pleasure to have you around again, my friend. I will undoubtedly see you soon, and if I don't see you in the upcoming days, have a nice weekend already, and I will see you again soon, no doubt. So there are 3 planes that are looking to come this way. If they were to go to the Polderbaan, they would have flown more to the north, so that would be the EasyJet A320neo inbound from Tel Aviv, and behind it the Embraer 190 from KLM inbound from Zagreb. I think they are coming this way. Still too early to tell with certainty, but also looking at the Turkish A330 inbound from Istanbul, they are flying more to the east instead of to the north, more to the west than to the northwest. Samil also has to go. I wish you a very pleasant day still, or evening, and I will see you again soon. Yeah, so I'm thinking that those 3 planes might be coming this way. They are still 10 minutes out, I think, maybe a bit less. So here once again the general aviation part of the platform. A lot of planes, but not a lot of activity at the moment. Hopefully we might see a police helicopter coming back from its round and land. Let me turn on my microphone again. I was having a sip of water. In the meantime, let me see. There is a police helicopter. Where is it? There it is. Now flying straight overhead, so hard for me to follow. I think it might go land in a few moments. A little bit hard to follow it. Where is it? Ah, there it is. Got it. Still. Standing a little bit awkward here. This is a completely opposite direction of what I'm normally standing in. So let me turn around the camera. This is more ergonomical for me. And it was a bit hard to find it again. There it is. So the camera is now pointing towards the west. I think the helicopter is now flying over the main platform area of Schiphol. I think it's going to come back now. We might see it land in a few minutes. Or is it still going straight ahead? Oh yeah, it's still going straight ahead. So it only came back for a short round around Schiphol and then back out again. Hey, but ladies and gentlemen, good news. I see some landing lights if I point the camera back towards the east. Looking at flight radar, I can in fact confirm inbound planes are once again coming. I think I'm going to... Oh no, let me just keep it on for a moment. The image stabilizer Okay, so inbound and visible at the moment in the distance is an EasyJet A320neo, also in the Neo livery, inbound from Tel Aviv, brand new. First flight was last October. After that we are going to see the Embraer 190 from KLM, inbound from Zagreb. Left there 1.5 hours ago. The airplane 7 years old. First flight was in November 2015. And I think number 3 is going to be the A330 from Turkish, inbound from Istanbul. So it seems that we are able to enjoy some landing airplanes that land right in front of us after all. Front of the plane beautifully illuminated by the sun that is on the opposite side. Really makes for a nice contrast against the backdrop of the clouds, at least on my camera screen. Quickly back with the camera. Now it looks a bit high. It's going to make a left-hand turn and land on the Kaagbaan then. Because it is still too high for a landing on 27. I think we might see a landing on 24. Gear is still down, so it's going to be a landing on runway 24. Following the glide slope or the approach for runway 27, basically. Then making a final last minute left-hand turn. Unfortunately, I'm already zoomed in the most I can. It seems to have landed safely without any issues. This would be the A332 from Istanbul. Inbound from Istanbul, from Turkish. Well, it says Turkish, but CMA CGM Aircargo is what it says below it on flight radar. So it's A332 cargo airplane, 8 years old, first flight November 2014, left Istanbul 2 hours and 54 minutes ago. You can see that this is a cargo airplane by the extra bulging on the front of the landing gear. I think that it has to do with reinforcing the landing gear for additional weight, but I don't know for sure. I thought I read that somewhere. I might be wrong. If I am, do tell me. Now, Aaron, regarding the place I'm standing at, I don't know if you are allowed to park over here without getting a fine. I typically park my car over at the McDonald's and walk the last bit over here. Now, there is a 3-hour parking maximum over there at the McDonald's, I think. Although I don't know how tightly that is being enforced. Next up, KLM flight 1182, inbound from Linköping, Embraer 190, left Linköping 1.5 hours ago, 11 years old, first flight January 2012. Hey there, Paul, good evening. Nice of you to join us. Hope you're doing well, mate. Now, I think we all know what this airplane is going to do, given how high it is still. Left-hand turn and land on runway 24. Okay, I'm hearing a helicopter. Where is it? Thought I heard a helicopter, but don't see it just yet. I definitely hear it. Oh, it is already. There it is. The helicopter we saw just now, about to touch down. Or at least go to the ground almost completely and then air taxi right above the ground. And touching down where we typically cannot see. So let's focus on what we can see, and that is this Embraer 175, which is set to land on runway 27 right in front of us over here. Paul Usher says, hope you're okay, boy. I am, absolutely. We were having a bit of a lull over here because, as is typical with this runway, Schiphol chose to close it shortly after I set up and started streaming. Now, fortunately, initially there was also some outbound traffic on 18 left, but then that also came to a halt and I was about to call it a day. Oh, this is not the closest airplane. This is. And then fortunately 27 reopened again, so we're at least able to catch some landing planes in front of us after all. Although we did see a couple of queens right in the beginning. So it wasn't completely lost even if I had called it quits. Now so far I haven't seen any replies in the chat about crackling reappearing, so I'm assuming it is still okay, the sound. And if that's the case, I'm a happy camper still, because then I think a lot of the issues that we were hearing earlier have been resolved. Meanwhile, here's yours truly standing in his own filming his own shadow as the sun sets, is getting lower above the horizon, also providing some nice light for these airplanes that we see approach. And Henky once again reaffirms that there is no crackling, so I am really happy. Ordinarily, under these conditions, we would have heard crackling. And also, last Monday, even though I did hear some crackling around the end of the stream when wind was picking up back then, overall, I think the pouch is a very good solution, although I'm still not sure if the mic I have is defective or if this is just sensitivity inherent to its design. Right, so inbound next, EasyJet, inbound from Naples, an A320neo, left Naples 2 hours and a minute ago, the airplane 4 years old. First flight was in June 2018. Now folks, if you are new to the channel and you are liking what you're seeing, consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. It allows you to turn on notifications so that whenever I go live in the future, and that is somewhere tomorrow, the next time, also in the upcoming days during the weekend and Monday probably as well, you get notified whenever I go live. And you can join us once again if you have the time for it and are feeling like it. And also it helps greatly to reach more people like you and me who are also into aviation content like this. And Aaron says great job and head-on win even with that cat is I have that cats on both sides, mic old on the back and new on the front. Well, the pouch I have been using to put between the microphone tube and the dead cat is also fully around the tube of the microphone, also on the back, and I used a tie wrap to basically prevent it from getting loose and also making ticking noises against my camera, so it is engulfing the microphone, the Rode Video Mic Go 2 that I have, which is comparatively small to other shotgun mics. It is fully enclosed by the pouch, also on the back. But maybe wrapping in the back of the microphone might provide some extra cover, because it is air movement, and particularly minor air movement, that was causing the crackling. So all bits, alle kleine beetjes helpen, all little bits help. Now this blue livery, I didn't look on flight radar, but there's only one airline carrier that has this blue, and that is Etihad Airways. Like how the sun reflects on the airplane and really makes the blue pop. En Wilma also checking in. Goedenavond. Hoop dat het allemaal goed gaat met je. Hope you're doing well. Welkom terug. Now, let's have a look on flight radar. Next is an E2 Embraer 195 inbound from Krakow in Poland. Thought it had already left and was lower, but the E2 Embraer also turning to the left last minute for a landing on runway 24. Next is number 175, inbound from Alesund. Left there 1 hour and 45 minutes ago. The airplane 5 years old, and it was flying for the first time in May 2017. Zooming a bit further out, I can also see that there's a Boeing 737 MAX 8 from LOT also coming in after this airplane. So there are actually quite a few ducks over here in the water. Seem to be enjoying themselves over here. So not yet visible but soon will be is lot flight 267. Boeing 737 MAX 8 inbound from Warsaw. Left there 1.5 hours ago. The airplane 5 years old. First flight was in December 2017. Photo for you says also a few heavies coming this way, so that is good news. And Wilma, yes, I am doing fine, thank you for asking. It is getting a bit chilly, I have to say, with the wind constantly blowing and the sun setting lower and lower. But for now, we're still good here. Let me also have a look at the flight radar. Where are those heavies? Oh yeah, they are in the east. Also 777 from Tokyo Narita coming this way, and a few more. So definitely worth sticking around for. In the meantime, we can see the 737 MAX 8 from LOT getting closer and closer. And photo for you, you're absolutely right, assuming that they are going to actually reopen the runway again in May. You never know for sure, but particularly in the upcoming weeks the weather will be good, at least for doing their maintenance. But you never know for sure, of course, with construction over here in the Netherlands. The delay can also get additional delay. It shouldn't be more than a few weeks before 18 Center 36 Center is actually going to reopen again. meantime, it is opening up here. The few clouds that were there earlier are still, there are still clouds, but they are mostly land inward. This is towards the east. Oh no, to the south. Apologies. This is to the east. This is to the west, so basically towards the sea. You can see it's fully opened up. Galidos asks the name of this runway. The runway I am standing along is runway 0927. That is called Buitenveldertbaan. Not the easiest of words for non-Dutch speakers. Buitenveldert is an area of the city of Amsterdam that is in the south, also where all the high rises for the so-called Zuidas are. So the corporates, the banks, the agglomeration of banks and law firms that are on the south side of the A10 highway, colloquially called the Zuidas, and to the south of that lies the part of the city that is called Buitenveldert. And when this runway is used in the configuration that is active today, so planes coming in from the east and landing towards the west, then the last few kilometers they cross over that city part, hence the name Buitenvelderbaan, because they come over the part of the city called Buitenveldert. Now, and you're absolutely right, photo for you, but it's a Schiphol law that you always seem to be ending up at the wrong runway. The upside of 18 Center and Polderbaan is that at least they are parallel to each other and also not too far away. So if you are standing at one runway, you can always still decently see the traffic of that is going to the other runway. Although, of course, it isn't ideal, that's for sure. Alright, now here is another airplane, and it is KLM flight 861. Is that correct? Is this the triple? It's on one of my... Oh yeah. The airplane was just behind one of the lines I have in the screen of my camera for the rule of thirds. The grid lines. Let me see. Inbound is KLM flight 864. Inbound from Tokyo Narita 777-300ER. And airplane 8 years old. First flight was in February 2015. KLM Greenliner has to go back to work, so we'll catch you all later. Thanks for joining us. Okay. Next up is going to be a KLM bird, visible in the distance just about. Let me have a look. It is KLM flight 1148, left Oslo 1.5 hours ago. Boeing 737-800, 16 years old, first flight February 2007. After that we are going to see another KLM 737-800, KLM flight 1978, inbound from Budapest, left there just over 1.5 hours ago, 22 years old, first flight September 2000. And after that we are in for another heavy inbound from the east. You can see both 737s in the same shot at the moment. So looking, nah, you cannot see the third one yet. So let's just fully focus on the first of the two 737s then. Now if I look in the distance towards the platform part of the platform area, the cargo part of the platform area, it seems that a Suparna 747 is about to take off, lining up on the threshold of 24. Maybe that's a bit more interesting than a second 737-800 that is coming in. I'll be sure to be back with the camera for the second 777-300 that is inbound from Bangkok. Maybe we can at least hear her spool up a little. Brief moment. There is the Suparna 747, probably outbound to Hefei or Nanjing. Alright, enough for now, because there's a 777-300ER inbound from Bangkok, also coming from the other side. Left Bangkok 11 hours and 21 minutes ago, and this is a relatively new airplane, 2 years old, first flight January 2021. Hey, let's go! Groetjes back! Isn't that a lovely view when the sun is out low, providing some backlights? Clear blue sky on that part of the sky. Let's see, the next two planes are already visible. Let me also have a look on flight radar. The first one is a Boeing 737-800 from KLM, inbound from Venice, Italy. Left there an hour and 21 minutes ago. 15 years old, first flight February 2008. Alright, quickly back. So next up is an EasyJet A319 inbound from Bristol. Left there 52 minutes ago. The airplane 14 years old. First flight was in December 2008. Let's have a look. Next up, Austrian A320 inbound from Vienna. Is this an old livery or is this a special livery or something? Couldn't tell. Didn't have the time to look all the details up in flight radar. Let's see. There it is. So this would be KLM flight 1798 inbound from Munich. Next up is going to be KLM flight 1258. That is an Embraer 190 coming in from Nice. Left there 1.5 hours ago. The airplane, 13 years old, and its first flight was in October 2009. Next up, a Boeing 737-700 from KLM, flight 1962, inbound from Zurich. Left there 1 hour and 5 minutes ago, and this airplane is 12 years old. First flight was in February 2011. Now let me have a look, see if there's some heavies underway, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Lots of narrow bodies back to back. Right, let's have a look and see what's next. Another Embraer 175 from KLM, flight 1770. Inbound from Frankfurt, left there 40 minutes ago. 5 years old, first flight February 2018. And it's going high, so it is going to make a left-hand turn and go to runway 24. And a safe touchdown. Now quickly back to the east, where we see a Boeing 737-800 from KLM, flight 1614, inbound from Istanbul, left there just under 3 hours ago. The airplane 3 years old, first flight December 2019, and there is a private jet taking off from runway 22. Is it? Oh, it's already airborne. There it is. So there is some activity going on the general aviation platform after all. Now, just about visible in the distance is, if I see it correctly, a Pilates PC12. That's inbound from Madrid, Air Service Liège. If it's going to land on this runway, it is interesting. Maybe it's going to make a left-hand turn and land on runway 22. I think that is more likely, since it is a Pilates small plane. Anyway, the airplane is 7 years old. First flight was in January 2016. Registration OOJWB. And some more Embraers coming after that. CRJ. Ah! There are two triples coming this way from Eva Air and also from Korean Air. Now those are definitely worth sticking around for. I do think I might wrap up after that. But I am going to stick around for those two 777s because I don't recall having seen Korean Air and Eva Air during my live streams yet, so who knows, I can make a nice thumbnail out of one of the two. So PC12 Pilates inbound from Madrid. Will she land on runway 22? I think so. The other airplane seems to be relatively close behind it. Now, can I zoom in any further? I don't think I can. No, it's just such a small airplane. Cannot zoom in any further than this. Alright, and it seems that the airplane behind it is going for a left turn and land on runway 24. Now, hopefully runway 27 is still open, or will they have closed it in the meantime? Right, so inbound next is an Embraer 190 inbound from Düsseldorf. It too seems to be heading to runway 24. Let's have a look. Another high airplane. Let me look at flight radar because you'd almost be inclined to think that runway 27 has closed again, that they are using 24 for landing. But that doesn't seem to be the case according to the app I am using. Interesting, interesting. Alright, so let's have a look what is coming next. Looks like one CRJ, two Embraers, one being the E295, and then the two triples from Eva Air and Korean Air. Next up is going to be SAS Flight 553 inbound from Copenhagen. CRJ 900, 7 years old, first flight March 2016. Now let's have a look and see what this airplane is going to do. From over here it does seem to be a bit lower than the previous ones that went to runway 24, but it's always hard to estimate from so far away. I think this one might be going to runway 27. Meanwhile, two ducks just took off. You should probably have heard. So parallel departures and landings are in place over here along runway 27. And this airplane is higher, so I'm thinking it's going to 24. Let me have a look on flight radar quickly. E2 Embraer 195 inbound from Stuttgart, departed 51 minutes ago. Airplane is 1 year old, first flight February 2022. Now this one seems to be going to runway 27 again. The other plane behind it also visible already. So inbound first, Embraer 190 inbound from Hanover. I think we are going to see the two 777s after that. Oh, almost a bird strike. Oh, another one. Close call. Where are the bird controllers? Let me quickly turn around the camera, because if I recall correctly, two heavies are now inbound. That certainly has all the markings of a heavy. So this is Eva Air flight 75 inbound from Bangkok. Left Bangkok 11 hours and 37 minutes ago. It is a Boeing 777-300ER, 16 years of age. First flight November 2006. Hey there Sasha, goedenavond. Just in time to see big birds. Now, we don't have a lot of viewers left anymore compared to earlier, but those of you who are tuning in, are new to the channel and are liking what you're seeing, consider subscribing to the channel. Make sure to turn on notifications if you haven't done so already. Here is Eva Air. wonderful. But no time to waste, because next up is another big bird, another 777-300ER Korean Air flight 925 inbound from Seoul. Doesn't say how long the flight has been going on already, but it's probably also 10 or 11 hours or so. The age of the airplane, 5 years, first flight February 2018. Alright, excellent. That was beautiful. Two heavy birds back to back from the Far East. Let's see, in the distance visible is Netjets Cessna 680A Citation Latitude inbound from Bern in Switzerland. Left there 1 hour and 12 minutes ago. The airplane is new, 1 year old, first flight January 2022. Let's see, I am going to stick around for the 777 from Emirates inbound from Dubai. That is now coming closer by. That is going to be the last plane of the day, ladies and gentlemen. After that I'm going to wrap it up. But I am looking to go back again tomorrow, so don't worry. This was just an extra stream as I had some additional time. Also some time to do some further testing. Test the sound. Test the new wire. So far, seems to be working well. So let's see what this citation is going to do. Seems to be coming to runway 27. Now these airplanes are really small. I am already fully zoomed in. These airplanes are so small that you don't even need to zoom out as they pass along you. You can just keep the zoom maximally in. Alright, so let's see, the next plane is already coming this way. It is a Boeing 737-900 from KLM, flight 1170, inbound from Helsinki, Finland. Left there 2 hours and 10 minutes ago. The airplane 21 years old. First flight was in September 2001. So first flight in the month of 9/11. How about that? If you put it like that, it seems like a very old machine. Seems like ages ago already. Now we'll have to wait a few more moments for the next plane to arrive. Let me have a look. It is going to be another Embraer from KLM. An Embraer 190 inbound from Kristiansand, KLM flight 1210. Left Kristiansand an hour and 4 minutes ago, and the airplane is 13 years old. First flight was in July 2009. Meanwhile, I'm running seriously behind on the chat. I'm also seeing activity over at... Oh yeah, no, that was just the landing airplane and another plane that just took off. Hey Bart, goedenavond. Well, it's a bit windy, it's a bit cold. I am going to stick around for the 777 inbound from Dubai. And after that, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm happy to hear that so far no crackling has been heard. Happy that at least the crackling has been seriously mitigated with the pouch. But I am anxious for warmer weather, to be honest. I can definitely feel that the temperature is currently dropping already with the sun setting and setting lower. I do believe that as of tomorrow the wind is going to be a lot calmer than it has been today. Right, so let's have a look. Inbound now, 737-800 from KLM, flight 1358, inbound from Prague, Czech Republic, 22 years old, first flight July 2000, so even a bit older than the one we saw just now. Now, the clouds that were there earlier, in the meantime, have almost completely dissolved. Only in the distance, this is towards the south, still a few visible just above the horizon, but you can see my shadow as well is getting longer and longer. Next two planes are already visible. First one is the A318 from Tarom, inbound from Bucharest, A318-100, 15 years old, first flight November 2007, and the Emirates flight 149 inbound from Dubai is behind it. Now the lighting, of course, under these conditions is really pretty. Makes for a beautiful contrast against the backdrop, even when the clouds have almost fully dissolved. Right, ladies and gentlemen, last plane of the day. I'm going to wrap it up after this one has landed. Emirates 777 inbound from Dubai, flight 149, 777-300ER, 17 years old, first flight January 2006. So I want to take this moment already to thank you all for joining me once again for this unexpected but still very nice stream. Was a bit of a lull in the beginning, almost called it quits, but then RW27 reopened again, and in the end we did have a nice stream with some nice traffic. Also 2 queens in the beginning, relatively quickly after each other. So thanks each and every one of you for joining me once again here today. Thank you Jerry, and thanks all the other people who have kindly donated super chats today. Your support means a lot. For those of you new to the channel, if you like what you saw and you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. Make sure that when you do subscribe to turn on notifications, so that whenever I go live, and I'm looking to go live again tomorrow, you get a notification. And if you have the time for it and are feeling like it, you can join us once again for another live stream from the ever bustling Schiphol airport. You have been watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. I will see you all at the next one. For now, have a nice day or nice evening. Take care, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.